Welcome back to lecture 19.2, where we're going to talk about what happens to an ideal gas, or actually, let's say the entropy of an ideal gas as T goes to 0. Okay, so last time during class, as an example, so not last time, lecture 18, in class 18, we worked out an example in class. And one of the examples we did was for expanding. So we had an ideal gas that went from T0 V0 to TF VF. And we broke it into two reversible steps. One where we had heating and at constant volume, and then expanding at constant T. And we worked out what the entropy is during the full process. To do that, we actually started by working out what dq was for an ideal gas. Remember, we started at the first law of thermodynamics. Then we put in, combine that with our knowledge of what U was, right, for an ideal gas. So we got dq was N CV dt plus P dV. Okay, so we arrived, that was actually almost even our starting point last time. Okay. So now I want to do the following. I want to imagine an ideal gas at constant volume. Okay, so imagine an ideal gas at constant volume. So dV is 0. That's pretty much, that's easy to do. You know, we just have a fixed volume container, and we're going to vary the temperature. Okay. All right, so let's do that. Now, our dV is going to be 0, so we're going to have dq is N CV dt. This is going to be a completely reversible process, right? So we can write down what ds is. So ds, remember, was dq over t, which was N CV dt over t. Okay, so let's calculate delta S for this process. Let's do the integral. So the integral of ds is then going to be the integral of N CV dt over t. Let's assume that the heat capacity is not changing as a function of temperature. That's to first order a pretty good guess. We've already calculated what the heat capacity of an ideal gas is, right? We did CP and CV, and it had to do with the number of degrees of freedom, right? Whether or not it was a diatomic or monatomic gas. So those values didn't have anything to do with temperature. So let's say it's N CV, the integral of dt over t. We all know how to do that integral, right? So it's just going to be the logarithm. So let's call this the integral from t0 to tf. So this is going to be N CV log tf over t0. Great. So let's check our answer. Check the limits, let's say. It's always good when you come up with an answer to see if it makes sense in the limits. So if I go from low T0 to high TF, then delta S is positive, right? So my entropy increases. Great. If I go from high T0 to low TF, right? I started at high temperature, I put something in a refrigerator, I go to lower TF. What happens? Delta S is less than 0. Is that okay? So this is okay because it's not isolated, right? I had to take heat out to go to low temperatures. So this system is not isolated. If I had looked at the system in this process for both my ideal gas and my, say, refrigerator, the total entropy of that universe would increase. Or the other way to think about it is if I thought about the isolated system, then I can have an entropy go down, but if it's a reversible cycle and isolated, then if I close the loop, it should be 0. And that's exactly what's going to happen. As long as it's reversible, the negative entropy will be bounced by the positive entropy if I undo the system. Okay, so what we've said is that if we go from low temperature to high temperature, our entropy increases because we have a positive number in our natural log, so it's positive. If I go from a high T0 to a low TF, this fraction is less than 1, so my natural log is negative. That's okay because it's not isolated. So now let's take our final temperature and go to 0. Right? We have this absolute 0 that we've talked about in terms of our CVGT, right? And our Kelvin scale. Let's just build a refrigerator that takes an ideal gas all the way to 0 temperature. What happens? You can see that the change in entropy would be negative infinity. Negative infinity? What on earth is that? How can I have an actual infinity in an ideal gas? So anybody have any idea on what might, the real physical world abhors infinities, right? We don't really have a negative infinity. That's impossible. So what's the answer? Well, the answer is that there's no such thing as an ideal gas as T goes to 0. Nature prevents us from having an ideal gas as T equals 0. What happens instead? If I have a gas and I cool it down, eventually I get a liquid, right? So I get a phase transition to liquid. Okay, so that's really interesting. And what if I cool a liquid down? Right? Well, basically, if I cool a liquid down, there's it's going to have to freeze, right? So a gas is going to cool to a liquid is going to cool to a solid. Maybe a solid might even turn to something else. Although some things don't turn from liquids to solids, like liquid helium. So that's something really interesting. So, except if you're helium, then you do something else. Okay, but why? What's the problem? The problem really arises in this step, right? So our infinity problem with our ideal gas came from the constant heat capacity, CV. And so real systems have a heat capacity that varies with temperature. Okay? I mean, an ideal gas really has a constant heat capacity. That's true. But real systems have heat capacities that vary with temperature as you go towards zero temperature. Okay, so let's imagine a few of these. So if we have an insulating solid, right, like a piece of, let's say, glass, plastic, something that's not conducting, probably even wood, then instead of thinking about CP for solids, instead of thinking about CV for solids, we think about CP. So the CP as a function of temperature for a solid actually goes like T cubed. So as you go to zero, the heat capacity is going to have some temperature dependence. So Cp of T is going to be proportional to T cubed. Now you can see what that's going to do is that's going to solve our problem with our entropy going to an infinity, because the entropy is actually going to end up going to zero. For a metal, right, the electrons in a metal actually have a different heat capacity. So you'll learn about this probably in 415 when you take it some more. But metals have a heat capacity that varies with temperature, which is linear. We'll talk more about that next time when it's actually kind of an interesting one. And superconductors / superfluids have a heat capacity that varies with temperature, which is actually exponential. So it goes like e to the minus some quantity, let's call it delta, over the temperature. And so that actually, the entropy goes down very fast, and that's going to solve our infinity problem. Okay, so next time we're going to look a little bit more about this, and we're going to think about what happens in these kinds of examples.